Okay, so now before we even get into rating and cataloging our photos and all that stuff, you see how I have all my images, and this will be all the images from your lighting or your light assignment. Before I even do anything else, I want to show you guys how to make contact sheets for me. These contact sheets will be for every single assignment. Keeps you guys honest. I check the metadata in your photos, and I can help you assess certain certain photos that are, being problematic. Maybe you're having difficulties with exposure or camera shake. Um, this is how I go through and I help you diagnose certain problems. So when you have all of your images in for this first assignment, I told you guys for 100. So I am going to select, I don't need these first two images. I'm going to click on this first image right here. I'm going to scroll to the end, and then I'm going to hit shift. And so all of those images, but not the images that I don't want that weren't part of this assignment, I have those selected, and then I'm going to go over to the print tab. Now, this is what I am going to need from you guys. It's a digitized version of contact sheet. In a contact sheet back in darkroom days, you put your film strips and you'd make a contact sheet. So before you would go through the trouble of printing out, a photo, you would see them very small. And then this is just a throwback to that. So I'm going to have you guys create digital contact sheets that you'll turn into me. You are going to go over here on the left. Remember, Lightroom is always left, right, up, down. On your left, and make sure that you have all your photos selected down here. If you see them all, that's great. And it says 100 photos selected, so I know those are all my photos from the assignment. I'm going to scroll down to where it says 4x5 contact sheet and click on that. And if we see that, we see all of the images, and if we go to different pages, those should be all the photos that I'm going to be submitting from my contact sheet. Now, if we're going over to the right hand side, here are a couple key important things that I need you guys to remember. First of all, scrolling from up down, do not click on zoom to fit or zoom to fill. Do not do rotate to fit. Keep it as is. I can turn contact sheets around, but if you are zooming to fill, I don't know what your entire composition is, and so it's hard for me to make an assessment, and things may be cut off, and then I'll say, I don't understand why these photos are cut off, and you'll be like, oh no, there's more to that photo. So do not click on zoom to fill or rotate to fit. Next, you can change your margins if you want, but I think that this contact sheet is fine as is. The really important thing, and I want you to scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down to the point where it says photo info. Do you see how photo info, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit so it's at the top. Photo info is selected. Do you see how right now it just says the file name of my image? I do not want that. From you guys, as my students, I am interested in your exposure. So click on your exposure. And if you can up the font size a little bit to make it a little bit bigger, but I need a contact sheet from all of you that shows the exposure. It's going to tell me your shutter speed and your aperture. And those were the two things that you needed to worry about for this assignment. So if you're having consistently dark photos, this is how I'm going to assess. If your photos are blurry, this is how I can assess. But I need to see that exposure. Okay, so next, to create these PDFs, you can select print. I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to select printer. Excuse me. So go back. Do not select print. Select printer. Okay. So if I have printer selected, do you see how this is going to default to my actual printer in my home? I don't need you to print out anything because this is an online class. So we're going to scroll over here where it says PDF. Do you see how it says PDF right down here? you're going to click Save as PDF, and then you'll select your folder for this class, and then I want you to put your first and last name, and then say light assignment. And up here, every time Lightroom is working on something, you'll have a little dialog box in the top there. That's how you know. If for some reason it's taking a really long time, I would just exit out of that and try it again, because you may need to do something as simple as restarting your computer. That could be it. But did you see? Ooh, there it goes. All right. So now if I open up my external hard drive, I should see my PDF right here. And this is what you will turn into me so that I can see I shot this at, you shot something at, what shutter speed you shot at, what aperture you shot it at. And I'll go through, and for every assignment, it will be the same.